Danfall offers unparalleled, curated and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshi traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfall, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfall, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfall Africa. To learn more, visit danfall.africa.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thanks so much for joining. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. Announcement number one, we are rolling to Senegal in 2 months, y'all. 2 months. We going to Senegal for the Jazz Festival. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfall.Africa. Again, please visit Danfall.Africa. That's DANFO. .Africa, that's DANFO.Africa. Also, we're going to Nigeria in August for Oshun, Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue, and then we're going to wrap it up end of the year with Ghana and Ivory Coast. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo, that's DANFO.Africa. Again, that's Danfo, DANFO.Africa to learn more. How y'all doing today? Everything good? I already see Lionel Champion, Lion Champion 587 already in the chat. Okay. I hear you. Okay, Lion. But here's the website right here, Danfall.Africa. Y'all go check it out. Sign up for the mailing list. When you sign up for the mailing list, I will call you. So don't be surprised. You will get a phone call from me when you sign up for the mailing list. Again, you will get a phone call from me when you sign up for the mailing list. So please visit Danfall.Africa. I will go ahead and put the link in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the convo, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the convo. And let's jump to today's topic. All right, Lion. This is my concern, Lion. Before you start calling me all types of names, because you always do. Venezuela. All right, let's start with Venezuela. Even with all the weapons and technology that Venezuela got from Russia and China, none of that worked. None of it worked when the U.S. came calling. None of it. You got Iran. Now, Iran is still fighting a good fight. Again, Iran is still fighting a good fight. The only problem is all their leaders, they all, their supreme leader, generals, all got took it out just like that. And again, all of this technology and weapons that Russia and China was supposed to provide, which they did provide, was useless. Now, Iran is still fighting back. But I asked this question last week, all right, when we were live. Why can't Africa develop its own technology when it comes to weapons? Why? What's the problem? Bag 7761 first, you're going to have sellouts everywhere. That should be factored in. That should be counted in. We all know you're going to have sellouts. We got to stop using the same excuses. That needs to be baked in, factored in. You're going to have sellouts, period. Hard stop. That's given. Someone's going to sell out. Go ahead, Cashler.
Peace, Dinez. How you doing?
I'm good, my brother. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for asking, man. Hey, that's a good question. I've always pondered the same thing. Well, why can't Africans develop their own technology and military equipment? One of the most effective wars in American history was the Vietnam War, and not on our end, but on the Vietnamese end. Not only did they get help, in terms of military equipment from Russia and China, but they also developed their own homegrown technologies and weapons that I feel like it took out more Americans than the European made ones. The simple things like punji sticks that they
Man.
use. People would fall in there and it was sometimes
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
poop on it
Can you
and
hear me?
pee on
Can you
it,
hear me? Can you hear
to
me? Can you
increase
hear me?
the
And you can't
risk
hear
of
me.
infection.
You can't hear me. Y'all gotta stop calling out.
Simple things like that. It's like,
Hold on. I
the
gotta
African.
I gotta remove you. Hey, Cash, I had to remove you. You guys gotta stop calling out Obama phones. Like I'm trying to ask you a question, you can't hear me because you're on your Obama phone. Like, y'all gotta stop calling out Obama phones.
All of the
He's still talking. Good goodness. Go ahead, CD.
Oh, Don, let me connect. I'm in the midst of doing something quick. I'll connect.
Okay.
that are right there in Africa.
Yeah, he's still talking. But guys, listen. May buy these weapons from China or Russia, and they're useless. They're useless. Africa, go ahead.
What's going on today? The line is not good. I hope my brother CD comes back
He'll come
because
back.
I want to. Yeah, because I want to hear. Oh, yeah, he's back. Yeah. Because I wanted to ask you what's going on in Liberia, man. The Liberia and Guinea border.
Oh, didn't Guinea is trying to encroach on the Liberian border and claim it's theirs?
They already have. They already put their flag in. Boom.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why, but it's the same thing. Liberia is gonna get the same treatment like what we're getting. I don't know why. CD, you heard about that, brother? CD, are you there, bro?
He said he was busy doing something, so he'll be there.
Okay. Yeah. 1 second. Let me just have a look. I think I got a link. 1 second. Yeah, I just posted that on the back.
So Guinea, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So I wonder what.
Interesting, man.
Hey, hold on, Casanova, unmute yourself.
Man, my Obama phone was it me or was it you?
Casha, you just like I was trying to talk to you. You were just talking. You couldn't hear, so I just was like, all right, I gotta just let him.
Yeah, I couldn't hear. I'm sorry. It's my Obama phone.
Yeah, man, those Obama phones. You was just talking. I was trying to respond. And you just.
Yeah, I don't even know where you were trying to respond, but
So when you first started, you brought up how you agreed as far as us not, I think not Africans not really producing weapons that are capable and not producing capable militaries.
Right, right. Yeah. That's my point. Like we're not, like, and we have the ability. We got the resources right under our feet over there in Africa. It's the reason why the Europeans use uranium from the Congo to make the first atomic bomb. It's just like we're not using our brains. And I feel like that's a disconnect with science. And that's because of religion. We think God or Allah or whatever supreme being is gonna save us. So yeah. I feel like we got it for each other, but we just ain't got the motivation for other people.
Yeah, it's and again, when you see, and there's been a long documented history of this happening. Patrice Lumumba, where was Russia to save him? Like, I just don't understand the true purpose of allying with Russia and China, but when shit hits the fan, they are nowhere to be found, or the weapons you spent $1 billion on are just ineffective.
Yeah, ineffective, and some of them like outright, just like flukes, like they don't even work. Old relics of weapons, but like that's the same situation with Venezuela that just happened, and
Yeah.
Iran. Like, where is Russia? And this is why I do agree with you. Like places like the AES, you cannot be so extreme and be on one side because you don't want to be on the losing side. They will let white folks come back like they did the Germans. All right, y'all come eat with us. Like, but you're gonna get killed, bro. Like they gonna make an example of us because we black. Like it's different.
Yeah, it's interesting. Let me pass the mic. Go ahead, Sam, man.
Hi, thank you for letting me on there. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh, great. It's interesting that you mentioned something about weapons. When isn't the Trump administration invading Iran because they claim they have weapons of mass destruction? You don't think that the Trump administration or a different government would attempt to invade an African country if they started to build their own nuclear weapons?
Yeah, but I think every country has a right to. They want to develop a nuclear arsenal. They should be able to. But that's how. But they're gonna. You should. And regardless, nuclear arsenal or not, you're gonna have to defend yourself. Or there are gonna be people who are going to attack you and try to encroach on your borders. That's life. There are gonna be people that are gonna challenge you.
Yeah, that's
Period.
the that's the
Whether it's the United States of America or what Guinea's doing in Liberia right now. I mean, it's just, and then you also have examples of Mauritania and the Senegal. That's just what it is for the most part.
Yeah, developing nuclear technology, has a unique energy signal that can be detected. So it ain't really something that you can produce in secrecy, like you might think, or a lot of people might think. I think that the international government will be aware of any country in Africa if they attempted to make those types of weapons. Also, there's a lot of like undercover cells all throughout the world that are keeping track of stuff like that. Even if you attempted to make not nuclear weapons, but let's say if you just did biological weapons, then they would be aware of that stuff too. So you got to be careful. And if you ever had to use them, that would be a huge issue as well. But it looks like the wave of the new military technology. It looks like it's going to be them drones. Do we have a lot of Africans that's into like technology and they can produce their own drones?
I think Burkina Faso is trying to, but I'm not sure. Right
Yeah, I
now,
think
the
I saw
U.
something
Nigeria,
like that too.
Nigeria. I think Nigeria, not Burkina. Well, maybe Burkina also.
Nigeria was trying
But
to acquire drones from, I believe it was one of those Islamic
no, they was
countries.
trying to build their own drones as well.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got
but
to be
Nigeria have
careful.
been building their own equipment for the years. But I wait for my turn. Sorry to interrupt you, Sandman. Um,
Yeah, you got to be careful when you're producing the drones too or purchasing them from a different country because they can decommission them drones from a remote area anytime if they wanted to, if they know the technology on how it was built. So the idea is to build your own drones with its own technology so that it can't be intercepted, or the signals can't be intercepted and basically sent back at you. You know what I'm saying? But I think one technology which would be a devastating weapon if it could be produced, and I think Africa's probably could produce it, would be like high power laser technology. But you also had a Geneva Convention, and if you were to use that, then that might be considered a war crime to use that on human beings, a laser, the way you would cut um, uh, people in half with it, or burn people like that. Yeah. So but that's another technology that they could build if they wanted to. You know, there's a lot of countries, particularly the USA, that has laser technology weapons too, and then there's also high frequency technology that could be used for weapons, just for self defense. You could, if you have a high power laser, you could take out a drone, easily, or a plane, or a ship, from a very far distance. But yeah, there's all different types of things they could produce. But when it comes to like nuclear biological weapons, that's probably something that they don't want to really touch or really get involved with, because I think the international the international authorities would try to like poke their nose in it and try to like control what you do in regards to developing those type of weapons. But as far as like the troopers, yeah, all of that's important. You know, yeah, all of that's important. You develop your foot troopers, and then you have to also develop your navy and your air force as well, and all of that's important to having a strong military. Yeah, so yeah, it's something that would take a little bit of time, but I think with the right amount of income behind it, because you can look at the history of the world, and all of these countries that have the most powerful militaries, they all started by having the wealthiest economies first, and then they invested all of their wealth into the military. So if you look at the history of the world and the richest countries in the world economically, you would see a precipitous rise of their military might, along with the value of their economy, reason right along with it. So I think that's key into developing your military. You have to develop your economy first. Then I pass the mic with that. Thanks.
All right, go ahead to Niger.
Greetings, Diners. Thanks for having me. Greetings to the panelists, the chat, and to the viewers. I think the question about Venezuela and Iran, I guess they are quite different cases. Venezuela, they practically use money to capture the guy there, and people keep saying that they overthrew the regime. It's not necessarily the case. Maybe these guys are towing the line of Trump right now, and the previous president wanted to, for some reason, he just wanted him out, particularly not because he was agree. Remember, this is a guy that was singing song for peace and wanting to work with America, but America didn't want to work with him particularly for some reason. But that's a different matter altogether. And then the Iranian, this in Ayatollah, and their way of thinking is very hard for us to understand. For the life of me, I was surprised to find out the nature of this man and the way they think. He wasn't in hiding. He is the one that passed the fatwa to prevent the country from going nuclear. That country would have been nuclear by now if they wanted to. And that's something that nobody ever talks about, because when you say it in the mainstream media, it looks like you're encouraging them to go nuclear. They could have if they wanted to. They had a lot of opportunities to do that. North Korea did while they were still developing theirs. They built all these thousands of ballistic missiles. I think these people wouldn't have built nuclear weapons if they wanted to. They didn't want to, and they are being punished for it. So, and the fact that they were able to take 40 of them out just shows you a little bit how naive they are being. Because they took out their general, remember, they did. And when they were looking to retaliate to the Americans, they even kind of telegraphed it to the Americans and told them that they were going to attack and allow the Americans to avoid the attack. So, which is a very interesting thing. It's like the lives of their generals are just treated as if it's just one of those lives. They don't see it as a general. They see that person as a fighter in religious terms that just kind of sacrificed himself for their religion. That's how they see it. Because if you value the life of your general, given the information and training and everything they've had, if they take one general out, the way you respond, can you imagine an American general getting taken out? The way America would respond would be very brutal, and or this in that of Israel. So the way they perceive this is very different. You have to understand that. This is why they didn't react the way normal people react when they knew America was having a build up in their area, and they were like sitting ducks there for for themselves to be taken out. It's like it's very interesting, and I really think to this evening I just saw the Iranian ambassador to the UN making a speech. As like these people, they don't seem to be engaging the world at the level they should be engaging the world. The communication level doesn't seem to be very good, and clearly there was injustice going on at the UN there. They passed a Security Council resolution against the attacks on the Gulf nations, but no, they refused to pass a resolution that says they should stop all attacks, including the ones from America against Iran. It's like the hypocrisy of the world, but that is what Russia does, isn't it? And this goes to the point of this topic. Russia was there condemning the Gulf nations and all the other nations that voted to tell Iran, condemn Iran for attacking the Gulf nations, but they didn't want to vote to also condemn to all the attacks, to condemn all the attacks, including the ones America and Israel. They didn't vote to back that one. So my question to Russia was, why did you abstain from the other one then and allowed a Security Council resolution to go against Iran, but the other one, the others ganged up against you? So it's like America backs its allies more than Russia does, and that's the problem. Russia and China, they don't seem to understand that could be a problem in time. Because if people start seeing that, okay, they are your friends, but when they are in trouble, you stand at arm's length from them. Tomorrow, who do you think they will prefer to listen to? And you can see the signs on the ground now. Was it not Traore that signed this MOU, health MOU with America? Nigeria has signed health MOU with America. We are talking about sharing our DNA material and this DNA records, this in diagnostic labs records, everything with the American. Our health information, they are sharing it with America now. Can you imagine African countries actually signing on to give their population's health record to a regime in America that has declared themselves to be white supremacists that want to recolonize us, and our leaders are still giving them our health information? Zimbabwe rejected it. I think one other African, a few Southern African countries rejected it. Kenya, they are challenging it to halt it. But the others, they've not done anything. They are giving their health information to America. So in terms of why we are not innovating in Africa, it's clear the African culture has not allowed that to emerge for whatever reason. It could be part of the colonial legacies. It could be the fact that our leaders are refusing to act on it. The environment is very, very hostile to this innovation. And part of it is because the people lack the awareness that this is life. This is survival you're fighting for here. Iran, oh my God, I don't know what to say. Whether to say I should be impressed by them in the sense that with these people being under sanction, one nation under sanction for over almost 40, 50 years now, and they are able to build such capacity. Most of their missiles are manufactured by them. Most of their boats, all the strategy they are using. I just discovered that they also have a kind of underground city for boats. When Trump is saying that they are destroying their boats, they were just showing the video of their boats on the ground. Like, these guys are going to keep the Strait of Hormuz shut. It's not going anywhere. They have thousands of them. Why does Africa have any underground city? Does we even have any proper underground tunnel, proper one that you can say you can protect your leaders with? No, we don't. We don't even protect ourselves. We are like, almost childlike the way we approach the world. I've been complaining about this for years when I discovered these numbers and how pathetic we are in terms of our protection, and how our leaders are basically caretakers. It's a serious problem, and our survival depends on it. Because if Africa was well defended, African Americans will not be going through what they are going through. And the Brazilian, in short, all the black people around the world will not be going through what they are going through. And sooner or later, we have to face that problem. Because sometimes, the last time I was here, I said maybe Africa needs to be blessed with the kind of situation that Iran is facing right now, an unfair conflict that is inflicted upon them, whereby they can see clearly that if you don't do something about this, this is going to come back to you and it's going to hurt you. What Iran is doing now is that they are saying they are not going to stop the war until they make sure this thing never comes back to them again. You see what I mean? That we haven't even gotten to that point. We think it's optional. We are going to get away with it. Sooner or later, we are going to.
Hey, Tunaj, you got 30 seconds, Tunaj. We got more people on the
thank you.
panel.
I know I've gone on long.
30 seconds.
Yeah. So we think we are going to get away with this. We think it's optional. No, we have to do it. Otherwise, we will perish. It's just a matter of fact. The sooner we make our peace with that fact, the sooner we start working our way out of the mess we are in. Thank you.
All right, anti-moral.
I think it's my turn.
Well, hold on. Let me because you guys, anti-moralist and Taranka, I pass it back to the city to Africa. Go ahead, anti-moralist.
Okay. I'll try.
Okay.
So first thing is a thing that you mentioned with the Burkina Faso signing up. I just joined in, so I'm not gonna necessarily answer that question. It's what the person before me said with them signing to give away their DNA. I don't know the details between that agreement, but I also don't understand why certain African countries basically rejected it. For example, I understand why Burkina Faso might accept it because one, they're dealing with terrorists. And the first thing we understand, they didn't sign any agreement or binding treaty. They had a memorandum of understanding, MOU. I mean, these two parties intend to cooperate in these areas. The details and the outlines and the intentions that are the next step when we don't know anything about it. Now, these deals, another thing they're making an assumption is that these deals are not exactly the same. Just because you agreed a memorandum of understanding with, for example, Zimbabwe, and why they rejected doesn't mean it's the same thing. Now, does that mean I trust the United States in this? No, of course I don't. I know why they might need it, but there's a difference between funding, for example, the building of or sharing of medical technology versus sharing medical information. Those are not the same thing. And also, one other argument is that Burkina Faso, the president right now, he does not draft these things alone. He has advisors and he has medical experts. He doesn't know everything. So it does rely on ministries, technical advisors, legal teams, and public health experts. They may be able to tell him, like, listen, we need to work with them because right now, if we're fighting terrorism and we need funding for certain medical equipment, we need to be able to work with them, even though they're not our favorite partner. And also, they're working with Iran, Russia, China, and America. They're not trying to choose a side here because they realize they can't put too much eggs in one basket. Just like you said, with Russia, China, for example, they might betray them. Or I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I don't know exactly that what you said, but my point is that there's a difference between agreeing, working. For example, people may say, why is China now working with Iran, for example? The second question is that does Iran want China to be there and help them fight the Americans? I would say the Iranians probably do not want to do that because you have to look at their civilization and their entire, the way they think about fighting this war. They are a civilization that lasted for 5,000 years or so, give or take. Okay, so these civilizations have been here long enough and they still see themselves differently. The way we see about in our agreements with, like, for example, when we talk about allies in the Western sense, does not necessarily apply in the Eastern sense. So I'm not here to say exactly I know what's going on. I'm just saying be skeptical. But one of the things when it comes to this is that Burkina Faso or Africa in general shouldn't look at these people as strategic partners. Not strategic, as defense partners rather than strategic partners, which is different. Which is, hey, share us your technology, share us If you need access to our minerals, let's have an agreement to understand it, because they come here for business. For example, if China does their Belt and Road Initiative, if we don't necessarily agree, if they're putting out on a debt trap, I would still argue that that's a better agreement, because at the end of the day, they can't carry away the infrastructure out of the country compared to the Americans, who will probably come here and say, you need to restructure your debt a certain way, you need to privatize certain industries, and therefore they would allow foreign companies to come in there and take these things. We don't know the details, what I'm saying. And basically, we're right now not in a position to bargain, but we are in a position to basically see what's the best deal we can get. And all I'm saying with Burkina Faso is that this might be the best deal they can get, because maybe they need more medical expertise or medical equipment, for example. That's what I would argue.
Let me pass it to Arthur. Go ahead, Arthur.
I just wanted to quickly share.
Go ahead, Tunisia. Tunisia, go ahead.
Thank you. So the details include, let me just get it. It includes sharing personal data information with this in the US, sharing network of these laboratories within the country. That of Burkina Faso includes that too. Then Burkina Faso also has to contribute to it about $147 million over 5 years. And then while the US side will contribute approximately $107 million. The little bit difference that I saw there was something about personnel, where they were saying some countries, they actually deploy their own personnel from America to come into the country. Burkina Faso say they are going to use their own personnel that America is going to be paying for. Then they will integrate them into their own healthcare system. So the most dangerous part is they are actually going to give them identifiable personal healthcare information. That's you will see their names of the people that they are sharing information for. It's like our own health record will be sent to America. This is what our leaders are signing on to. But that is, anybody can go and check in and see it for themselves. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go and check into that. But let somebody first speak.
Go ahead, Arthur.
Okay. Let me ask them, does anybody on this panel know exactly what is written down, what the agreement with the U.S. and America have? I mean, 100%, the word for word agreement. Anybody have that information?
Between Burkina Faso
and the United States. Anybody have that information?
I can pull it up. Give me a second.
Because the word for word.
I'm gonna pull it up.
It does depend on the country, for example. That's the thing. What I'm saying. So we need to know exactly what did they sign.
I'm gonna pull it up, guys. Go ahead. I'll pull it up. While you talk, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, because as far as I know, the data part is not leaving Burkina Faso. Right. That's the agreement they made. The data part of it is not leaving Burkina Faso. Now you might pull up something else, Dianus, but I need something from the government itself.
This is coming from the government, right? This is coming from the government right here.
Nah, that's U.S. government.
But yeah, that's who made the deal.
Nah, that's U.S. government, Dianus. You have to get it from the Burkina Faso government. Hold on a second. Do you remember when the citizenship came about, right?
Right.
Touré did say citizenship, right? We're going to give them citizenship. But what happened when the parliament went over it, right? And debated it?
They said no.
They said no. You see what I'm saying? Like the other brother was saying, I don't know if he's from Burkina Faso or not, but like what he was saying, Abraham Touré don't know everything, and he cannot make decision by himself.
Oh, I'm not from.
He has a government.
They said that's why they are using MOUs, because it often bypasses.
Right. They have to debate it in their parliament,
MOUs,
and then
MOUs are not debated. That's why they are using MOUs. It's not like a treaty or a kind of.
But it's not a binding treaty. It's a memorandum.
Right. Nothing is concluded yet. Just like the citizenship that came out of Abraham Traoré mouth, he mean well at the time, but when they debated in Parliament said no, we're going to do something else. All right. So we have to wait until it is debated. Now, your title.
Did he, when he said that, when Parliament debated that, did he overturn the Parliament, or did he just say
no? He says
that, right?
Up to Parliament.
You see, okay. See, that's my point. Is that he doesn't know everything, and
right. Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say. So he
That's
has
what.
his experts for that. Sorry, just wanted to say that. Go on.
Right. He's not a doctor, right? He's a military personnel.
Yeah, but is
You
the
see what I'm saying?
parliament challenging it now?
Right. They have to debate that, and they have to. But from what I've heard when it first started is that they are not going to give up any data. You see what I'm saying? So we got to see what becomes of it. But he's not stupid, and the parliament is not stupid. They know the deal. You see what I'm saying? They know the deal. And number two, Burkina Faso had health agreement with the United States before Traore and his government got there. They had a health agreement, right? I don't know why people are thinking that the U.S. and Burkina Faso never worked together before. They worked together before.
They were not sharing their personal information.
No, not that. No, they didn't. Not that. No, I'm just saying in general they worked with each other before, including on security.
I think one of the things is that because it's Ibrahim Traore specifically, they're putting more focus on this. Most people in general,
Right?
So the side they're looking at this in like a way more critical lens than they would have if it was like another democratically elected.
Exactly.
That's
exactly. That's my point. You see, so we have to wait and see. So, but Dinus, the title was is Burkina Faso making the same mistake that Iran made? What do you mean by that?
As far as I would say, depending on Russian and Chinese weapons, military weapons, instead of building their own, creating their own, because it's proven, especially in Venezuela, that it's ineffective.
Oh, you said Iran's weapons are ineffective?
They've already taken out their supreme leaders, military generals.
Oh,
the
come
second
on, man.
the second leaders in the hospital right
That's
now.
okay. That's okay. That's
okay.
That's okay. Dinus.
Well, let me ask
They are hitting with precision. That's why I sent you. You have to listen to the generals and the colonels and the CIA. That's who you have to listen to.
I'm listening to everybody. I listen
But
to
I
both
send it
sides.
to you, and you don't listen to them, Dinus.
What's the objective of Iran in this situation,
what's the point of hitting with precision if all your leadership's getting taken out?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Iran, the way they're fighting this war is they say we have given
it's asymmetrical.
Control, exactly. We have given control to specifically the general state, and you have control to shoot what you think needs to be shot. Because at the end of the day, they're not trying to conquer here. There's a difference. They're trying to survive. The regime is trying to survive, and that's the important. So now, let's say they want to go back. Right now, people are against this war in America, and Iran realizes that okay, listen, we cannot defeat the United States. But the Gulf nations that are working with them, we can attack them. Attack the desalination pipe, close the Strait of Hormuz. No food. Do you think these countries, these desert countries, are growing their food? They're gonna have to import their food. So if they close that, there's one, the oil doesn't go out and the food won't go in. That eventually is going to cause riots. And if you look at countries like Bahrain, which is mostly Shia, and even though they're ruled by mostly Sunnis, they're mostly Shia. Eventually, when you hear like somebody like the Ayatollah, for example, they're getting killed, that is going to create I'm not going to say jihad, but my point is that it's going to create, basically it's like killing the Pope for them. Okay, so
but we went over that already. Just let me just finish my point, get my 1 minute and finish my point. All right. People are delusional to know what's really going on and how the military structure is set up in Iran, right? They have military structure that's in different part of the country that don't even adhere to the central command. They set up like they do things on their own. You see what I'm saying? The damage they're doing to Israel right now, if you show it, you're gonna get 5 years in prison. No one is allowed to show it. They're getting plummeted. The Israeli defense is no more. You see what I'm saying? You could launch a regular drone in there and it'll hit something.
So what?
Right? You talk about the weapons and that precision. Do you see these goddamn bombs? One missile come and open up and let out 80?
I'm not saying the weapons are precision. I'm just saying that Iran's taking more of the hit than anybody
Oh,
else.
oh, yes,
That's
they are,
that.
because America is a much more powerful military. What are you talking about? They prepare. They prepared, and they know these things are going to be happening. They have leaders in place. You see what I'm saying? They already have leaders in place, one after one, one after one, one after one. Trump is looking at off ramp right now, but Iran said no. He called Putin. Trump called Putin to talk to Putin. Iran said no. And I told you that, Diane. I told you you're gonna have to finish them. Period, because they will not stop and they will not give up. You see what I'm saying? And it's been 12 days now, and I told you within 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay, you said
Within
so. You
2 to
said
4
that,
weeks,
you said that
there will
about
be.
a week and a half ago.
America is begging right now. They're not going to have shit left. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You see what I'm saying? Well, Iran have tens of thousands. They even showed today they have an underground, underwater base, underwater.
Quick question, Dinas. Are you saying
You see?
Iran?
Yeah,
Well, like, how would you
delusional, bro.
define Iran losing? I guess in this instance, because if if losing means they will defeat the United States in a war,
That's not losing. Is surviving.
No, losing will be
You
not
see?
surviving for Iran, so they need to survive.
Right, surviving.
That's the thing. And again, I'm not saying that the weapons from Russia and China are the best in the world, because clearly there's, again, I'm gonna act like
Iran built most of their weapons.
But when you look
90% of it, Iran built.
Exactly, that's the thing. A lot of people who are looking
and for cheap,
for Venezuela and for example China, was like, why would China not intervene in Venezuela? First, you'd have to look, what do they need from Venezuela? Like the oil. How much of the oil do they actually get from Venezuela? Most of China, where they get the oil is from
4%.
Russia.
4%.
So and also you gotta remember, they're the only electrostate in the world. To the Chinese, I'm not saying, of course to the Chinese, to them, the way they would, I guess, I'm not saying I know what they think, but they need rare earths far more than they do really need oil. And because they want to know how to process it, but they can only get certain rare earths, from example.
China banned it. They're not getting no more.
And they can only get the actual, like, certain rare earths, they can't find them over there. They have to find them in Congo. So if Congo, for example, were to be attacked, I'm not saying that they will do exactly what I'm saying, but it's just like that to them. They're looking at it from a strategic, like,
bro. We have a rare earth right here in America. It's not the rare earth. It's the processing of the rare earth.
And it's dirty, and another thing most people don't talk about is the electricity that it requires, the electrical infrastructure. America's electrical infrastructure is not the same.
This entire grid needs rebuilding.
Yeah, and that's gonna take
AI too, for AI to function correctly.
Not only
all right, guys, let me Tarky, you got 30 seconds. I gotta pass the mic.
All right, well, the point I'm making, don't be delusional from CNN, Fox, and the BBC. You see what I'm saying? Iran is winning this war, and they're winning this war by surviving and keep shooting missiles, drones, and the whole 9 yards. They destroyed 3 of America's THUD system. Okay, America have 11 in the world, in the entire world. They had to go send to South Korea. Now South Korea is left practically defensive now. Okay, Iran could, North Korea could go in and take it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. Don't be delusional, bro. And I'm telling you, 2 to 4 weeks. That's it.
Well, no. We're at
12 days. 13 days tomorrow.
So you got about 2 more weeks.
No, I said 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, we're at 12 days.
Right, 12 days. So we got 3. I got 3 weeks.
So okay, we'll say April. We'll say April 9th.
Yes, say what you want to say, bro. This shit gonna be stopped before then. I guarantee you, the war is gonna be stopped before then.
Yeah, the only way Iran can win this.
Hold on, in whose favor, Tarko?
I didn't say it again.
In whose favor?
What do you mean, in whose favor?
You said the war will be stopped by then. In whose favor?
In Iran's favor, because they'll survive. You see, people think winning. People think winning is actually winning. Is actually defeating America. No, that's not winning. Okay.
The only way Iran can win this war.
You just said win, bro. You just said. I just said there's no winning.
Well, I was saying the pressure that this war is fitting on the world economy is the only way that Trump can pull back, because I don't know about you guys, but the gas prices around here jumped $1 in like 3 days. So that's all because of the all of the war that's going on in the Middle East. And then the stock market just collapsed out of nowhere. So the rest of the world's looking at this war like, yo, y'all got to stop knowing what you're doing before the whole entire world economy collapses.
Oh, let me pass it to Africa. Africa, go ahead.
Yeah, greetings to everyone on the panel and the chat. Yeah, first of all, this is a very difficult one to say who's winning this war, who's going to lose. But based on Trump agenda, you know, I think he is already at the back foot here. You know, because first of all, we saw this coming a long time ago. It started on the airwave. It's quite similar to what other countries do. They spread a lot of. I live in the UK here. They spread a lot of Islamophobia on the internet. Sets locals against Muslims, Muslim against Christians, and basically they try to feed them this red meat. But people like me with a high IQ, I can spot this coming a long time. I saw this coming, right? And I mean, Trump, for example, he said he wants to replace the leadership in Iran. That was his number one goal. He's already lost that. Number two, he wanted to get control of the area, the shipping lane. He haven't achieved that yet. Number three, he actually wanted to get the locals, to finish the job for him by replacing the leadership, by doing the groundwork for him. He haven't achieved that yet. So it has backfired. And also one thing, everyone that spoke throughout, on the platform so far, what you guys have missed, the main thing that you have missed here, Trump is not fighting the Iranian leadership. He's not fighting, just Iran. He's fighting an idea. He's fighting an idea of the Islamic Republic of Iran. He's fighting that, and that's the point. How is he going to defeat that? I know there are a lot of people inside Iran who want to topple this government because they're evil. We all know the government in Iran, they're so evil. Looking at what they managed to do to their people over the years, absolutely. You must be a moron to support that, regardless of what religion or whatever you believe, right?
It's a lie, but go ahead.
No, but trust me, they have killed so many people in Iran. I've seen it.
So do we.
But yeah, that's true. So America, I agree. Let's be real. America is not innocent neither. We know America is a hypocrite.
And Israel is the worst terrorist state around.
Exactly. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
and Israel is the no. Let's oppose
what's
all.
The deal? What? I mean.
Well, let him finish, please.
Yeah, they're all bad. Okay, we cannot compare one bad person to another. If someone is an evil person, they're all evil. But we know America, like to be hypocritical. They rather just tell you what to do. They will have the nuclear. You're not allowed to have it. They will commit genocide. You're not allowed to commit genocide. They will do things that you dare do. The same thing. This what they call it's white imperialism. Okay, it's simple as that. So the reality is, these people are actually, they're all the same on a different level, regardless who is more evil than the other. The people that live underneath the regime, they have their own opinion. And there are people, of course, in Iran, majority of the Shia Muslim who follow the idea, they will fight to death to protect what they have there. And that's why Trump is not going to win. So, that's one thing we need to put aside. In terms of the African brothers in the Sahel, yes, I mean, non-alliance, is the best way to go, because we know, all those countries that took one side, as I said, put all your eggs in one basket. We know where they end up. That's the problem, because then, the Russians might come to help, they might not, or the Chinese might come to help, or they might not. So that's the problem. And this deal that we're talking about right now, this medical, the health bill, who would want to sign a health deal with America? America is one of the worst places when it comes to healthcare system in the world. That's number one. Number two, loads of countries already done that anyway. No, in a minute, yeah. Lot of countries have already done this. They already signed these deals a long time ago. So it's not nothing new. And also Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken, have also done the same thing with France recently, where they went to they signed a deal, similar deal with France. So not just America, but also the French. Um, so now we have this similar situation. Okay, we have in the continent. So as we always said, we need to build until Africa. We have a leverage, which is our mineral resources. We know that's what they want. Okay, so we have power. So people that think Africa doesn't have power in the world are dumb because we do have power. We have all the mineral resources that they need to go to the future. Okay, but the problem we don't have the tools to defend it. We don't have the idea to defend it. We don't even have the idea to defend for, to fight for, and say this is our idea of Africans. This is what we need to do. For example, right? Majority of these countries, they you see that developed today, they had their own ideas, they had their own kingdoms, they had their own system that they actually followed throughout history. Okay, we don't have that. The only countries that probably have that is those Sahelian countries that's struggling. It with war zone. All these other countries that have been highly Islamized and Christianized over the years, they don't have the ideology. They're very divisive. They're very divided, and they have nothing to hold on to. And until Africa, okay, if we're serious, like for example, even the AES, they make sure all these citizens in their country, okay, and actually end up in being in the military. Like every 18-year-old, from when you're 18, needs to be signed up to the military. Okay, the military have to be involved in all this stuff. In fact, what African leaders need to do, they need to unite as soon as possible in terms of regions. We can't reunite as a continent because it's a very difficult one, and each region have a block. Like for example, the West African bloc come together and said, right, we're gonna ban all export of all mineral resources out of the land because we know this is what you're coming here for. So you're not gonna get it anyway. If you want to do anything to do with it, you need to build, you need to outsource this thing here. You need to actually make sure we have the final goods made in the continent before you can export it. That's as a law, as a clause into the laws in the parliament. That's why I said the last time, parliament in Africa are weak. There's no institution. So if that's one of the things, and also, national service. Every single person in Guinea that you see that's coming to Liberia today, Guinea, all their civil servants, they all go into the training. They all go to the military. They get trained. Okay, they all get trained. This is why they're the only country that successfully managed to secure their borders and their land. They don't have that much, air power. But you dare come in their country, they will flush you out. But the reality is, we don't have that because we are so divided in looking into the minor things, fighting over things that is relevant, and we actually are very, very naive when it comes to looking at our true enemies instead of looking at the reality our threat that's facing us. Because it kind of shows how we are actually very low IQ people when it comes to those things because we are very slow at identifying our threats until they come and hit us. So my advice would be is to actually stick to, what we have. Nigeria did, like the previous president Buhari did, try to manufacture weapon in Nigeria. Like they launched the boats, the some couple of warships in the Guinea coast, and also they managed to build some uh, um, local weapons that the military are using, and also some armored vehicles, and also some carriers. So they managed to do some of that, but
Drones too. They
that's not
make
enough.
drones.
Yeah, exactly. So he did. I don't know if they still continue that legacy after he died, but
They
things
still
like
have it.
that. Okay, good, good. So things like that is what they need to build onto,
Hey,
but in a larger scale.
30 seconds. I got to pass with the CD.
No problem. So this is the problem we have in Africa. We're very complacent. This is how we lost most of our empires. We built, for example, the Mali Empire was a good example. We had it so great. The world talked about it amazingly. Everything was fantastic about it, but we did not protect it, and we lost it all because of internal issues. You know, then obviously we are so friendly to the outsiders and naive. In fact, Mansa Musa went and distributed gold. They trace him back to his origin, and people that are fighting the Mali Empire. It got destructive
All right,
due to inflation,
I got to pass the mic. Go ahead, CD.
and it was done.
Hey,
Thank you.
Donnie, since Africa, how you doing, man?
Good. How you
Yeah,
doing, man?
greetings, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you.
good,
Thank you.
good. Yeah, my view on Burkina Faso, right? So this is why we've been talking. This whole medical record was taken to Nairobi, Kenya. They took it to Rutos. What Rutos did, he took it to the parliament, and the parliament took it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court struck it down. They took it to Ivory Coast, the parliament in Ivory Coast struck it down, right? They have been carrying it in a lot of African countries. That's why when you have a single military guy ruling a country can make any kind of decisive, very important decision like this, right? Which will impact the
You make
entire
no
population.
sense.
So
Stupid.
so
Hey,
my
Tarka, we can't call people names, man. I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
but
no,
he's
no,
come on,
Yeah,
Dan. It's been, we
but
just
Tarka,
finished talking. We just finished saying something.
don't call the man stupid.
no,
I mean,
I'm too important. I'm not going to
Yeah,
cuss him
yeah,
back.
yeah. Please, please, Taka, don't do that
No,
again.
no, let him go
don't call
on.
the man
I don't react to
stupid.
those things.
We just spoke about it.
Okay, well,
So
Saying he
let
can't
No,
make
him
a
but
decision
talk.
by
no,
himself.
Tarka, let him finish. Go ahead, City.
So
please don't
basically,
do that
when you
again.
look at country like Burkina Faso, Dan is that you haven't been to Burkina yet, but I believe you pretty soon you're gonna go to Ivory Coast. You'll make the comparison.
Well, I've been to Ivory Coast, so plenty of
Okay,
times.
okay.
Yeah.
So I would tell you, say when Burkina be leaving from Burkina Faso, go to Ivory Coast, they almost like they're traveling from Africa to Europe, right? Most of them doing housekeeping, farming, right? The Malians, there are a lot of Malian community in Ivory Coast too. Malians, they are more engaged in businesses. Almost, I will tell you, say 80% of the Malian businessmen have moved from Mali to Ivory Coast because of what the situation in Mali right now. They have invested all their money in Ivory Coast. So, and again, working with Russia, I've not seen any country that have worked with Russia that have benefited from Russia. Guinea was the only country so far because for them, they had a very strong leader, right? Secretary. He stood up, he said he doesn't want Guinea is the only French speaking country in West Africa that don't have CFA. They are not member of CFA. Mali tried, they couldn't make it, right? So that's what make Guinea totally independent country. They are totally independent. They have military power. Besides Nigeria, no other West African country can stand Guinea in terms of military power, right? So
Right.
when you compare this situation, what is going on in Iran, you have to know that the Iranians are the most educated people in the Middle East, most educated, and the average age over there is probably 20, 25, right? I mistakenly thought that the whole thing that America was going to neutralize Iran, within the first week. But what happened was when the negotiation was going on, after the negotiation, they haven't even finished the negotiation. They didn't want to attack them. I guess that's the time they lost all the generals and all their leaders, right? And it's a Ramadan. Most of the time, they will sit together and try to have and break their Ramadan. So I guess there where the whole issue happened. So if you look at the rules and regulation of law, of war, that's almost like a war crime. You can't stay in the middle of negotiation and just go and kill all the people leaders, right? But Trump thought that well, it was the situation of Venezuela. Once I kill all these people, everything's going to be over. But he put a younger guy who is more extreme than the older guy that he killed, right? So people that have a religious ideology, you cannot compare that with a bunch of drug dealers from Venezuela. So his thought was, okay, once we kill all these leaders, we're going to have control. Russia is not helping Iran. Iran is the one that been helping Russia. All the drones that they fighting with Ukraine, Iranians are the one that been producing all
Oh
these drones.
Lord. Yeah.
You don't know that Iranian was the one that been supplying Russia with drone. You don't know
Man,
that.
shut up, bro. Just finish
So
talking. You
all
don't
the
know a
drones
damn
right
thing.
now. So that's
You
No,
don't
why.
know a
Tahaka,
damn
man.
thing.
Let's just
Shut up and
civilize,
talk.
man.
So
Tahaka,
that's
no,
why
no,
right
don't do that, bro.
now.
No, that's disrespectful, bro. Come on, man.
No, leave this guy. I'm not.
Mm.
Forget about him. I
Your
don't.
brain,
I talk
your
to people
brain
like that.
dead.
So when you
No,
see
Tahaka, that's my elder disrespecting, man. Please allow it, please.
Man,
when you see
Mm.
right now
Yeah,
right now Ukraine.
but Tarko, when people get call you out, call you names, you get upset. But then you're
Well,
doing the same.
you could go ahead and call me name, but
No, I
Dennis, I
don't do
speak
that. I don't
facts.
do that
He
because
just said he changed his mind. He
I'm
just said
well
he
trained.
didn't know Iran was that powerful. He just said it,
I did
and I
not tell
tried to
you
tell
that.
him
That's
that
why you
last week.
don't. I did not tell you that. I told you that when they attacked Iran, the entire leadership was in meeting. They were having negotiations with
I know
America
what they were
when they
doing, bro.
attacked them.
I follow it.
So that you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay,
So
I know what they were doing. I
so
know what they
right
were doing.
right
Let him out
now,
finish, bro. Please.
this guy, man, what's wrong with you, man?
You making no sense, bro. Your brain dead. You make no sense.
All right, I agree with you. So basically, right now, what is going on? The technology that Ukraine developed to counterattack those drones, now they're asking Ukraine to help them to try to neutralize most of the drones that hitting the other Middle Eastern country, right? So I think this is where this whole thing is going on. But at the end of the day, Iran is using other neighboring country to
Hey,
counterattack America.
30 seconds. I gotta pass
Yeah,
the mic.
that's what they're doing right now. But they claiming that they're hitting American, military installation and all of CIA headquarters in all of the neighboring country. But the reality is, I'm really really surprised of Iran, and I didn't know that these two are going to perform like this, Venezuela.
Yeah. Now you
But
don't.
thank you,
Yeah.
Dan.
No, go ahead, Em. Unmute yourself, Em.
Peace. What's up? I want to add my 2 cents to the conversation, and if I repeat something, don't talk down to me because I didn't listen to everything. But I think the biggest Achilles heel of Africa as a whole, and especially the AES, even though they got the right idea, is their sovereignty. They don't have their autonomy is the biggest thing to exploit, because in the world that we see, if you don't got the nukes, like Ho Chi Minh, did Ho Chi Minh say this? An unarmed man is subject to slavery at any time. So the arms that you need in order to not get what Iran got is you need nukes, or you need to be in some type of alliance with a person with nukes. Like when the Soviet Union was disbanded, NATO was able to stay in existence, the Northern Atlantic Treaty Organization, and then it got the EU. So if any one of those states get attacked, they all riding together, one for all for one. But the former Soviet states like Ukraine, they're on their own. So there's no agreement with any country that if they get attacked, those countries gonna ride with them. That's why they trying so hard to become part of NATO. So the only way African countries, I think, like we see, I think we're entering the age of empires, not the video game. Similar to when Genghis Khan acquired all of those countries in Asia. When the Roman Empire, the reason them countries was joining those empires was protection. Because when they joined the Roman Empire, any country that's part of the Roman Empire, the whole empire is going to ride for that one country. So I think the AES, they can have economic deals with Russia, but those economic deals is not an agreement that if they get attacked, they're going to ride with them. Like Iran was part of BRICS. They had economic deals with China and Russia, but they weren't like part of Russia and China. So they didn't have no obligation to ride with them, ride for them if they get attacked. They're sovereign. And that's what America exploit. Like any country in Africa, right? It's like when I was researching the AES, how they was established themselves. They said they was displeased with the AU. They called them neo-colonialists because when the United States attacked Libya, all of those countries sat back and done nothing. And they say the same thing. The reason they separated from the ECOWAS is because they was planning on attacking them for Europe, for the French. They saying they basically puppets and tools of they're neo-colonialists. But the reason I'm saying this is people are. The reason I got this thought was a lot of people did talk down about Black Americans because we part of the United States. We have no power. But all territories of the United States, including the Samoa Islands, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, if anybody attacked those countries, America is obligated. Even Taiwan, if anybody, they got agreements. And also, all members of those territories have the right of U.S. citizens. They could come here and vote. They don't need passports.
They're Americans, bro. They're Americans.
But they're territories. I'm saying the only way Africa, like I heard the Africa talk about the Mali Empire. Back then they didn't have nukes. If you had you need, like right now, you gotta align yourself with a big dog that got nukes, and you gotta give up some of your sovereignty in order to ensure that they're going to protect you. Because the only country we see getting attacked are countries that don't have nukes or countries that don't have a pact with a country that has nukes. So any country in Africa right now is subjected to attack. If they really, like right now, you see Congo getting exploited. They can't do nothing about it because the people that's exploiting them got the nukes. They can literally wipe you out, and there's nobody with nukes that has a pact to protect you. No country on earth has a pact with an African country that says if you attack them, because African countries have sovereignty that they brag about, but that's their Achilles heel, and that's the biggest thing that they're going to exploit. Iran is sovereign. They have no pact with any country. In order for you to have a pact with a country that's more powerful than you, you're going to have to give up some type of sovereignty. But giving up that sovereignty will ensure your longevity. That's about it, though.
It's not so easy to drop a nuke on a country nowadays, bro.
All right, let me go ahead, say James. Go ahead, say James.
Hi, Dennis. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. It's a great topic that you brought today, and I'm going to give you my 2 cents, right? Ever since people brought up this topic, I've been waiting for that conversation to start in Burkina Faso, you know. And based on what I'm hearing, there was one guy that spoke prior to Mr. M. And I don't know, I haven't looked for his name, but I think I heard his voice before. I think there is a little bit of there is a start of bipolar. Is a bipolar. I see the bipolar. You have some bipolar individual that come on your panel every now and then. You remember when Arikana took people to Burkina Faso, right?
Right.
And that was based on an agreement that they was going to get citizenship, right?
Right.
You know who overruled that? That was the parliament, right? So it's here to tell you that Traore is not the only one making decision in Burkina Faso, contrary to what this guy.
If I can interject.
Sure.
I think if Traore really wanted to give them citizenship, he could.
It did.
It did. Border, you know what I mean? That's just me personally.
But it did. It did it in his way. If you really look into it, it did it in his way. That has never been done in Burkina Faso before. If you really look into it, the fees, the time it takes to get it, and it really loosened up a lot of.
Reason why I say that, J. James, because I got my citizenship in Sierra Leone.
Right.
I've been through the process before. Now the only
different dynasties.
Yours
from Sierra Leone.
The only issue is I don't think they had maybe the time and resource to process that many people in like a week. Mm-hmm. Maybe I could be wrong, but I really feel as if he really wanted to give those folks citizenship, he could have.
Time will tell. Time will tell, and the timing is not, in the diaspora's favor right now. You can see what's going on with America. You can see what's going on with the rest of the world. So we're gonna have to post certain decisions and take care of that later. And I understand their position is not what they're doing is not against the diaspora. What I'm trying to tell you is, Dennis, please be careful about certain people. Some Africans, they are very bipolar. They trigger other Africans because they come from war-torn countries before. They're really dealing with trauma. I'm telling you. They speak on other countries. They're trying to
make your point.
No. Shut up. Can you shut up? Can you shut up?
No interrupt.
Can you shut up? Everybody else let you speak. You spoke. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is this, right? When you bring this topic, right, you can see the quality of people that always talk about Burkina Faso. They have a personal issue with the country. You see what I'm saying? So they have a biased view about my country, and that doesn't sit well with me. I like everybody's opinion. I listen to it. I listen to Niger. He makes great point. I listen to everybody else. But when it comes to certain people, they have personal issues, and they're turning into a reality that don't exist in my country. You're talking about Traore ruling as the only one man in Burkina Faso. We have a parliament in Burkina Faso that makes the decisions. Where have you been for the last 2 years? Where have you been for the last 2 years and a half? You haven't been watching? Is it the only one in Burkina Faso making decisions? So when it comes to
James, I have a question to ask real quick.
Sure.
So one thing, maybe it's not really. Let me try to frame it well.
Right.
Let's assume that he can make all the decisions. Let's just assume.
Right.
Would that be a wise choice to give people citizenship from different countries? Like, I'm not saying that. Of course, listen, I've lived in America for quite a while now. I have no problem with most black people here. But let's not assume that all black people that would have been invited, they wouldn't send a CIA agent and try to destabilize the nation. Let's not act like that's not a possibility. Okay. So I don't know what I argued in Parliament, but maybe they thought about it like, hey, listen, we've seen how these other nations have fallen and how they've been infiltrated from within. They're black CIA agents, okay? They identify themselves more with the US imperialism than anything else. Okay, so that is just like there's Africans who behave coonishly, there's black Americans who do behave that coonishly. So how can he tell? He can't. So
that's why Daniel was saying you have to have the system put in place to even make sure we vet everybody, even the people within the nation, right? That's what we're going through. We have sellout within our own nations that we are dealing with, and the West doesn't understand it. So whether, let's say, a Burkinabe become a traitor, he become a terrorist, the way the Burkina government is going to address him, maybe America is not going to like it, right? And then you coming in as a foreigner and you want to live in that country and you turn out to be a spy or whatever, you know what? So the same law is going to be applied to you. So you might not want that, right? America might not want that. So we're going to have to find a position that help both every parties. So I understand, like, we have to really figure this out. So that's why it's going to have to take time. And I agree with you. You can't give citizenship to everybody that just come in. That's not feasible, right? You have to be fair to the people that live there too. They don't know you. You don't know them. You're going to have to find a way to learn from one another before we get to a certain place. That's natural. It's not against anybody.
Something, right? James, when you get a
sure. Go ahead. I can answer.
Let me ask something. People seem to believe, which they're wrong, that there's no Russia personnel on ground in the AES country. Is this true or not?
Russian personnel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't they have the Russian military on ground in Burkina Faso?
Absolutely.
Who said they weren't on the ground?
Absolutely. The last attack that took place. The last attack that took place at the airport of Niger. You see Chani himself congratulating the Russian force for helping. They fought alongside the soldiers. In Mali 2 years ago, when they were tracing terrorist groups near the border with Algeria. The Russian fought. A lot of Russian soldiers died in that area.
Wagner got pretty much
right. They fought in there. So the Russians are there. So, but the idea that I'm an African, right? I don't want no Russia to come help me. You know what I'm saying? My mindset is not war like certain people. I want my people to be able to stand on their own feet and fight. Russia help is going to be like a extra. It's a bonus for us. But I want our people to be ready. Douglas, you have a lot of people in Mali. Ask them. Last year, where were people? Mali had a symposium where they exposed all the weapons they created, the munitions they created. They had an industry in Mali. I don't know if people know about it. If you listen to Traore, some of the equipment we got from Russia, he pinpointed some of them, and he told his military, we're now going to order them because he believes we can make them in Burkina Faso. So the plan has already begun. So us creating our own started already. Some people need to jump on the bandwagon because based on the conversations that I'm hearing, I believe they're behind and they don't want to update the information they have. So there is some sort of personal issue with Burkina Faso. I get it. I have to be a tough man because my country is on the news. So I have to be able to take the punches and respect everybody's opinion. But I'm here to tell you there is a lot of personal issues, man. I'm telling you.
Also, what
Daniel, you were asking me about.
Wait, question. What is like the average age of the people who are honestly talking about these things? Because oftentimes I notice there's a generational gap. I'm quite young. I'll be honest with you. I'm around 28 or so. Okay, so most people who might be talking about this, or who are at least not trusting of the Western institutions, like keyword institutions, is that they are often younger people compared to other, And also another factor I'd like to add is generational knowledge. For example, most leaders of each of these African countries come from a Western institution or study in the West some way, somewhat. Okay, so the leaders of currently are from those generations. Now, when you talk about the students that are studying in other parts, for example, Turkey has about 1,500 African students. Russia is about 35,000. China is about 80,000. This is before the pandemic. These were the numbers. And the one thing actually was a minister from Rwanda who was he was an ambassador to Burkina Faso, and he mentioned something quite interesting. The current leadership may think more pro-Western, but don't assume that's gonna stay forever, because the students who are in these countries, most of them now are going to these other countries like Turkey, China, Russia, India, Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Singapore. They're going there to get their education. And when they come back, they will not necessarily think like Western system. Because one thing, even though I'm in a Western university, for example, I noticed the way you think will change eventually how you think about when it comes to things like sovereignty, alignments, military alignments, strategic alignments when it comes to economic issues. Those are the things that are going to matter. I don't want to go too much into this topic right now because I want to let other people speak, but I just wanted to put that out there. What do you all think?
Dennis,
Yeah, I'm here.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm here.
you are asking, a lot of time, people claiming, West to be African, but most of the time they don't even travel. And I believe you and I met on a plane before. I met you on Kenya Airways going to Nairobi, right?
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
Okay, so yeah, I introduced myself to you. You didn't even know me, but I introduced myself to you.
Hmm.
So basically, my job is working remotely in finance. I spend most of my time in Africa. I've been to Ouagadougou, I've been to Bobo Dioulasso, I've been to Bamako, Sekou. You see African in the West, they have lived here for 20, 30 years. They claim to be African, this is my country, but they don't even go back, right? They never travel back. The reality is when you go and interact with people, you talk to people, you do business with people, you know what is on the ground, right? So there is a situation that is going on between Guinea right now, the Foya district, Balofa, on northern part of
Yeah, I got
Guinea.
Dennis. Can you please play the link for us, please? Because at least people can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's Foya district. So basically, it's a sea military leader that is in Guinea, right? So he just jumped into other neighboring countries trying to see their land. But I guess they're going to have some sort of negotiation going on because they're going to resolve it peacefully. Because the part of Guinea that share our border with Liberia, they have the Loma tribe from there and they have the Madingo tribe. So these are common tribe that share that specific border together, right? And it's a diamond mining area. It's a lot of diamonds in that area. So probably that's why he's trying to seize that specific part of the land to
Mm.
exploit the resources. I guess that's the reason. It is the same thing
Didi,
that he did to say. Right.
that is not going back to Liberia, man.
Yeah,
Anytime Guinea
yeah,
put that.
yeah. It doesn't matter for me. I'm not.
that,
I don't even identify myself with one country. I don't even care because
nah,
I'm a Madingo. I'm a Madingo. My tribe is all over in those West African country. I have business in
we
Africa.
we
I have business
exactly.
in Liberia. I have business in Guinea, Conakry, Lambaye. I told you,
Mm.
right? I have a bed in there. Dennis, I can give you my
Right.
address when you go to Abidjan. I can give you. You go to my building. You see the entire building, 30 apartment complex.
Send me an email because I might go to Abidjan in May after Senegal, but for sure I'll be in Abidjan in November.
All right, please.
Yeah.
I want you to go and see my property and the brother that is managing the property. He was in America for 20 years. He went back. He opened business over there. So I'll be really happy for you to
Yeah.
meet
Send
him.
me the information. Send me the
Okay.
information.
All
Email
right.
me. I'll
So
have my email address in the chat.
right. So basically, that's how the situation is. When these guys went to Nairobi, what Rutos did, because he knew he couldn't push back on America, he sent it to the parliament. Right. When he sent it to the parliament to the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court turned it down. He said, no, we can't do it. So these are check and balance system. So once there was a system that functioning, and one person is now ruling, he's not going to give his entire medical record to a guy who trying to recolonize everybody, right? So they will definitely be conscious of getting the type of record out. But when they said 36-year-old man ruling a country, taking the entire country medical record and give it to a stranger, that's alarming. This is the thing that has been going
He
on,
didn't give it
right?
to them, bro. He didn't give it to them.
Man, I don't want to talk to you, man. I don't know why I don't want to interact with you. Just give your opinion and
Talker,
forget about me. I don't
that's
want to interact
okay.
with you,
That's
man.
okay. Don't lose your
So
breath on that.
basically,
Yeah,
this is
I
the
know.
thing that is going on in Africa. So
Yeah, yeah.
when you have a system, it almost like when someone go to Sierra Leone right now, they might be you, or might be you give her the records of a medical record Sierra Leone. He know he's under political pressure. He's not going to give you up like that. He's going to take it to the parliament, and Supreme Court is going to decide on it, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
Is
that's how
it?
it works.
Yeah.
And with Iran again, if you look at it, most of the Arab Islamic school that Iran big in West Africa, especially Ahmadiyya. You know Ahmadiyya, right, in Sierra Leone, in Freetown?
Yes.
It's one of the best science schools in Sierra Leone. After grammar school is Ahmadiyya in Freetown, right?
Ahmadiyya and Ansarul
Right.
Ahmadiyya. They both Ahmadiyya and Ansarul. They both owned by Fuller Amadinka people. They both
Exactly.
own those two schools. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
Iranian and build that. So Iranian, they are different from all these other Middle Eastern countries. When Saudi Arabia, when they build school in your country, they want you to do Islamic study. They want you to read Quran. They don't want you to read
Nah.
science, be a doctor and
Exactly.
other things, right? So a lot of our brothers that went there, they didn't give them the opportunity to learn science and do become a doctor and other things. They just wanted them to learn religion. But when you go to Iran for school, they give you the science knowledge, they give you the opportunity to become a doctor. So they have that foundation when it comes down to education. That's why they are really advanced, compared to other Middle Eastern country.
All right, let me pass it
Yeah.
to Bang. Bang, bang. So
Well,
Bang.
what happened to Auntie?
No,
How come you keep over Auntie?
Answer already spoke. Bang. I'm mute yourself, Bang. Bang.
Yes. How you doing,
Hey,
Douglas? How's
listen.
everybody?
No full on supremacy today, okay?
No, today.
Go ahead,
No,
Bang.
today. But but I like to topic with your question. With the AES and then Venezuela and stuff like that taken down, and then now you have Iran. They try to do their best as much as possible to take them down. And then the question is, what about the AES? Okay, so now let's look at the countries that are threat to these countries, right? Because when you look at Iran, it's not the Europeans are actually the threat. It's the Arabs, because they're the ones that allowed the military bases, like the Americas, all these other countries that have military bases that surround these countries, right? That surround, Iran. You look at Jordan, you look at Qatar, you look at the AU, the Saudis and all that, they claim to be the head of Islam. They not at all. It's a joke to me. It's a joke at all, because you could look at them. You see what they are, right? They spend billions of dollars in Western countries, but at the same time, they tell Africans, "Oh, you do this, it's Iran. You do this, it's Iran." And then stupid Africans actually believe that. To me, it baffles me, right? How can you see yourself at the same people that tell you, "Oh, if you do this, it's Iran," right? But then they spend trillions of dollars in Western countries that are far away from so-called Islam. Far away, even so-called Christianity as well. Because some of these Western countries nowadays, they so-called Christians. They're far away from that. You look at all these churches in England, some churches, in America, again, abandoned, turning into like gyms and all this other stuff. All these things. But at the end of the day, right? You look at the AES, right? Let's come back to the neighbors. Just like how I said, right? If the Arabs are the ones selling the what you call it, Iranians, right? Because at the end of the day, they don't want to allow these military bases to be there, because they sold their culture, they sold their religion. Let's be fair. They sold their culture and their religion for what? To get access to the whiteness. It's the same thing with FBAs. It's the same thing with certain Africans as well. They sold their cultures to the West to get access to the West. Now, when you allow these Westerners to do what they want, you can't come and say, "Oh, I'm a Muslim, but this." No, No. So that's why you see Iran is attacking the base as well, rightfully at the end of the day. Now you look at the countries, right? That surrounded the AES, right? Number one, Ghana. Ghana has a military base. Ghana has a U.S. military base. Which you already know what they're doing. They have their own private terminal. They could do whatever they want for the last couple of years now. Ghanaians, they call themselves so-called Pan-Africanists, so-called, the bacon democracy in Africa. Oh, Ghana. Oh, yeah. Look what they just did to a young, like, Austin, on the live. You look at another country, what do you call it? So-called Niger country. Oh, South Africa. It's just like the Saudis. They, themselves, whatever the headquarters of Islam. So whatever, the Shias and stuff like that. Look what they doing. Look what Nigerians is doing. Telling U.S., America, come and do your, whatever you want to do out there. Put pressure on these countries. Whatever. Eventually, you can fund so-called these two groups and do what they want. And then Nigerians will come over here and say, they be like, oh, blah, 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 stuff like that. You look at who? Another country. Alassane Ouattara. You already know. He's like the Jordanian. Like the Jordans over there in the Middle East. He's like that. Oh, anything the West says, anything France says, yes. Look at the other sneaky one. Patrick's over there in Benin. He look like one of the guys, man. Don't ever trust him because he will. Oh my God. But it comes back to these countries that I just named. Because these countries, they do anything to make sure these three countries does not succeed. Because it exposed them for what they are. It exposed them to leadership wise. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like what I'm talking about, right? Because if these three countries do not succeed, it's not because of the West. It's not because of the Europeans. It's because of countries like Nigeria. And it's because of countries like Ghana. And it's because of countries like Ivory Coast. And it's because of countries of Benin. Those countries play a massive role for these countries to succeed. Because you see how they're doing that. You see how far some of these leadership are going, right? You see how far they're going. Military bases, all type of things, right? It's the same thing with the so-called Arab countries, that's surround Iran and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, if the Westerners do get their hands on whatever they're trying to do, if they do succeed, it's not because of the West. It's because of Africans that play a major role in it. It's because of African leadership that allowed these people to do exactly what they want. And you already know where they come from. I don't want to bring up tribes again today, but you already know who's the governor, who's the president of these countries. I don't see them. I don't see these people coming out and say, oh, why are you trying to do this to these countries? No. Some of these people, they love it. They love it because some of them are actually jealous. Because if these three countries do come out on top, they be the one, oh my God, they surpass us. Because I truly believe that Ghanaians are jealous of these countries. Because the day Burkina Faso does come on top of them, oh my God. Because for years upon years, they look at Burkina Faso as the tiny brother. Oh, you nothing to us. You nothing. You just half your country is just desert. Oh, we are special because you know why? Oh, everybody loves. Everybody want to be like us. Like the other country, right? They call themselves John of Africa, which is a fucking embarrassment. They need to stop calling themselves John of Africa. They are nothing of John of nothing. They are John of sellouts. You see what they're doing. You see what they're doing. How can you be a country, right? When there's a coup in Benin, within 2 hours, you send your military chopper and your military specialists to go and bomb that country. But then when you have terrorists in Kwara State, 11 people for hours, I saw the news from Nigeria itself. For over 10 hours, Tinubu could not even bring a help for these people. Not even a helicopter. For over 10 hours. So it looks like the Benin people are more Nigerians compared to the people in Kwara State, compared to the people in Sokoto, compared to the people in Zamfara, compared to the people in all these other states in Nigeria. So-called, T groups doing all type of things. So at the end of the day, Benin people, you guys are more special than Nigerians, man. Because you know why? You guys travel with Benin passport. Nigerians travel with Nigerian passport, right? But then when Benin people need help, who do the president come and save? The Benin. Make it make sense. How can you fly your chopper to another man country and then bomb that country, but then you don't want to come and save your citizens that voted for you? Nigerians, Nigerians. I don't get
Bang,
it.
they got
But then,
orders from France, bro. That's the difference. They got orders from
well,
France.
yeah, 100%, yeah, 100%. That's what I'm saying. If these three countries succeed to whatever they're trying to do, right, is because of these four countries I just named. From Ghana, because Ghanaians, they're very subtle. They're very sneaky with it. They're not loud with the, you know what I'm saying, like with their mouth. Ivory Coast, because I don't speak French. Because you got to speak French for you to really go understand what's going on within these countries. Like Benin as well. But Nigeria, you can understand because they speak English just like us. So those four countries, those are the ones, just like you have all these other countries in Middle Easterns that allow the Westerners to have a military base in it, to do all type of stuff for years. So those are the countries, Nigerians. So that's why sometimes I gotta give my hat to certain people that are Nigerians, right? When they say they're not Nigerians, because now I can understand. Because look at how Tinubu does not even care about Nigerians no more. Because how can you allow 10 hours terrorists doing all type of stuff that they want to your people? But you gonna tell me you are, giant of Africa. You gonna go over there and bomb Benin, but you can't even bring a helicopter so that you can scare these so-called terrorists. You can't even do none of that. Oh my God.
But
So
sorry, Bang and Dynasty. Did you hear what Sheikh Gumi just said yesterday or day before yesterday? Because I know Dynasty, you're always going about Sheikh Gumi, this he's a you know what he said? You need to listen to his interview.
Bang,
He said there's
bang,
but
Hold on, I'm
Africa,
trying to
you
hear
bang.
understand me, right?
Hold on, I'm trying to hear
I'm
Africa. What did he say?
Sheikh Gumi said yesterday, okay, people, all these Nigerians, these haters, calling him terrorist sympathizer. You want to hear his interview, bro? He let everything out on his interview. He's
but
playing all out.
Africa,
Tinubu is right in the middle of it. Tinubu is right in the middle of all these terrorist responses and the government. He said if Tinubu wants to knock on the door of the terrorists today, he know where they live, he know who they are. He spilled
Okay,
everything.
yeah, I
But
saw that. But Gumi also said that he's willing to forgive and work with the terrorists.
yeah,
I'm
but
like,
that's a different thing. That's a
okay,
different
okay,
I'm
okay,
like,
story,
okay,
come
right?
on,
Dennis,
man. You don't. I mean,
Dennis,
come
No,
on.
but that's a different story. Mm.
Dennis, in
Bang,
Mali.
bang,
Yeah,
bang.
go
You
on,
got,
man.
you got, bang. You got 30 seconds. I got to pass the Prince to
Yeah,
you.
thank you. In Mali, Burkina Faso, I think Niger as well, right? They did a partnership with former terrorists. As we speak, the Malians have a former terrorist in the military base as we speak right now, doing what they're supposed to do as we speak. The
I
reason,
don't understand that. That's
no,
crazy.
the reason why Sheikh Gumi said, on such a thing, right? Because he knows how corrupt Nigeria is. I gave you a perfect example. How can you be a president, right? You allowed a terrorist unalive your people for over 10 hours. And then you can go and invade another country, a Benin country. And then you said you here to save the Beninians in less than 2 hours. So who do you work for then? Do you work for Nigerians or do you work for the Beninians? So it looks like the Beninians are more special when it comes to Nigerian politicians, right? So Nigeria, please answer this question. Answer this question to Niger. Please answer this question, my Southeastern brother, man. Please answer the question because it look like some of your people,
Tunaja is not
they
from there,
are right
man.
nowadays.
Tunaja is
When they
different
say
to
they're
the.
not Nigerians
So
No,
he
but
anymore,
gonna be.
Tunaja is
they are right.
different.
They are right. They are right. They are right. Because at the end of the day, the elite does
Bang,
not care
bang.
about Nigerians.
I got to pass the mic. Prince
Well,
D, go ahead.
Adonis, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Who is the president of Syria right now?
Of Syria
Yeah,
is one of the ex terrorist groups. What's his
right.
name?
He's a terrorist put there by America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you just said why are these people why are these people accepting a terrorist or a want to be terrorists? Why did you say that when we know we support terrorists? I mean, we control and support Boko Haram for over 10 years now. I mean, I don't understand the mystery.
Yeah, but my brother, that same terrorist came to DC in the White House.
You're right.
I
So
saw
so I mean,
a small glimpse of him. He played basketball with American militaries. He sat down with
you're
Congress.
right.
He sat down with senators as well. That
Yep.
same guy,
And he had
that was
10
an
million on his
ISIS
head.
leader. That was an ISIS leader. Think about it, Americans. The same guy that was an ISIS leader came to the White House, greeted openly, and gave him, a first class, whatever they did. Played basketball,
Didn't Trump
shoot
say
basketball too
didn't
as
Trump say
well.
that a fine guy?
Man, come
Is
on.
a fine, handsome guy? Like he's some
Yes,
man.
that's exactly what
Yes.
he said.
Yup.
Hey, guy, let me pass it by to
Again,
Prince
right?
Steve, but Target, you make a good point. Go ahead, Prince Steve. Unmute yourself, Prince Steve.
Can y'all hear me good?
Prince Steve, can you talk into the phone and not on speakerphone, please? Or on your Bluetooth headset. Can you just talk directly to the phone? Huh?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I think the Syrian president, his name is, I think it's Ahmed al-Shara. Well, I probably gotta go look it up, but he was the leader of Al-Qaeda. He's the Al-Qaeda leader, and now we're supposed to protect Syria from ISIS. But what I was gonna say is that right now West African countries need to use this time that America is fighting Iran to really build up the military arsenal, because I mean, what I think is going to happen with the United States is, with the bases being blown up and things like that, is we might lose our leverage and positional footing in the Middle East. Those countries like Saudi and Bahrain and Oman, they're not going to want our bases there due to the damage that those countries are taking, due to the aerial assaults that's going on right now. And I think that the United States is going to expand this geopolitical footprint more into Africa, especially with the resources. So I think that Africans really need to do what Iran did. Iran took the initiative to build up their military arsenal back in 2003 when Bush had the U.S. invade Iraq. And that's for West Africa, that should be the Iraq moment. Like, it's time for us to prepare, because no country in Africa has nuclear weapons. I know South Africa had it, but for some reason South Africa gave up the nuclear weapons
They
during
had
that
to.
whole
They had no
apartheid.
choice. They had no choice.
Yeah, so I think every country should take note of what Iran did and what North Korea did. North Korea really put themselves in a great situation in terms of being protected, in terms of being exempt from being attacked by the U.S. Because one key thing that I got was with the Iranian foreign minister was, he mentioned that we're hitting your bases because we can't hit your mainland. And I think that's one of the reasons why the U.S. felt comfortable to attack Iran the way they did, because there's this idea that Iran does not have the ballistic missile range to hit the mainland United States. And the Iranian foreign minister, he actually confirmed that when he was on the news with MSNBC reporters. So I think that also spiked our blood in terms of going into Iran and doing what we did. But
Getting our ass kicked now, though.
yeah, look, well, tactically, the U.S. is winning. Strategically, this is a
Never happened, bro. Never.
You got cut
Hey,
off. What?
we can't. We got to stop calling in on these Obama phones.
this is
Go ahead,
not going to
Jay.
end up the way we want
I
it to
got to pass.
end up.
Prince Steve, we lost you.
That's all
You're
I'm
on your
saying.
Obama
This is
phone.
not going to end up. We're going to end up losing all our military bases, our military footprint in these countries.
It's
We're
lost
going to end
already.
up hurting our economy. The gas is going to double. The oil is going to double, and we might even lose the status of the petrodollar, which
It's
that
lost, bro.
spikes up
That's
the
it.
de-dollarization
And when it's
process.
over,
Can't get anything.
one country would probably offer their ability to construct, because they're able to construct quite easily. And then our new world superpower is gonna be in there.
All right, let me pass the mic to Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, good night. I was kind of wondering what happened to the no new wars anyway.
It was bullshit. I, I don't think Trump really. I think he's just a figurehead.
Who's that speaking?
Oh, it's Prince Steve.
Okay. Yeah, because laws exist, but you have to have people that are willing to follow them, because in reality you shouldn't be like killing leaders of sovereign countries, to start. But
Man, these guys are rogue, man. Right now, the United States is a rogue country. We jumped the shark. We've gone unhinged. Like, we got the worst kind of people in charge.
right. And the thing is too, I mean, a lot of us on this panel, we live in the safety of a lot of these Western countries and stuff like that. And
For now.
we enjoy all the benefits of it. And, I get that we're hoping for, countries like in Africa and different things like that to rise up and do, better economically and healthcare wise and all that for their people and militarily and all that. And I really respect that goal, but to get to that goal, we got to ask ourselves, how do you get there, And I don't know why sometimes we have these conversations if we're just venting or if we're trying to find a solution or if we're trying to learn or
He's got a point.
what we're trying to do. But like the answer is out there, but it's, you got to be open to receive it,
I agree with that.
No, I totally
think
agree. Well, what I will say, what African countries would have to do, and it's essential now. It's like it's not even an option. You have to build up military power. Iran did it. North Korea did it. All these Western countries understand this force, military brute force. They understand violence. They understand when their kids and sons and daughters come back home in body bags. When their gas prices get to be $6 and they're paying $100 at the pump, that's when you start hearing people cry. They're like, yeah, we need to end this war. But right now, Americans can condemn Trump and say they hate Trump or whatever, or hate their government, but they're not doing enough. They're not doing enough to shake up things in Washington.
Africans,
I'll say
Africans,
this.
Africans are not gonna. Africans, when you're talking about West Africa, unfortunately, they're not gonna be able to build anything. The way I'm seeing things, it's a disappointment to hear that I'm from West Africa, but the level of misunderstanding and us not even pairing our unique strength to come together is a disappointment. So if you see what the AES is doing, right? We got together because we wanted to protect ourselves better, right? That
Right.
was the first thing. ECOWAS for the last 50 years, they have tried many things that worked, but for the most part, what you see now, it's a bunch of presidents, right? They don't even know exactly how the world works. They are outdated. Some of them are too old to understand the world. Some of them got not even interested protecting their own people. And that's what the problem of Africa is, especially West Africa, right? You see someone like the last time when we were talking, and I was alluding to the fact that under Tinubu's leadership, they lost 3 countries, right? Somebody was not happy with what I said. I said, how can your own backyard is burning, but you got the time to fly to the Western world to sit there and talk whatever? Your own backyard is burning, So what's your priorities? I know you got business deal to sign with the West, but your own backyards, you you can't even have that under control. But you're traveling everywhere in the world, but you don't go to your neighbors. That's the first sign of us not even engaging. You see what I'm saying? But Ghana is smart. Since Dramani took power, he got closer and closer. For the first thing he did, he sent some diplomat in Burkina, Mali, and Niger to observe. Because I agree, you have military leaders in those countries, you don't know where things are going to go, right? So the first step is to observe. which he did. When he observed and he found out that these people are well respected in their country and they are on their right track, you see Ghana made the pivot. Why? Because they understood the importance of dealing with your neighbors. I respect that from Ghana. But when my big thing is, you might not like Russia, but my big question is, if you have worked with other people beside Russia, show me what you have built. Instead of talking, show me what you have built. The
Okay.
West haven't given you anything, but you're still complaining about other people who are giving you a little. So what's the problem? Russia, I've told you, Russia has a different way of seeing things in West Africa than before. They now understand the power, the power. We are a powerhouse because of our proximity with the Europeans, right? They were able to break that because the French have been dominating West Africa, Francophone Africa, and you see these three countries pivot to Russia. Russia now understand that this little talk that we used to have back in the day ain't working. You see the amount of weapon they're giving to this country and the amount of time they're spending with these various countries tells you that it's a different set of partnership we have. I'm not saying it's putting boot on the ground is on the table, but I'm just saying based on our engagement, I can guarantee you Russia has also pivot towards Africa, trying to deal with them differently. So it's up to Africans to seize that moment and to negotiate better deals. It's all about putting the best people to negotiate the best deals. So Russia is not going to be able to do all of it by itself. Of course, you're going to have to link with other countries. But the idea that we're going to talk about Russia while Russia is still delivering on its promises is what I don't understand. Russia hasn't betrayed none of these countries in the Sahel. None of them. Actually, Russia stand up at the United Nations. Russia stood up with Mali. They stood up with Niger every step of the way. But Africans themselves still found a way to criticize Russia. I don't get that. You see what I'm saying? So if it has to be based on action that Russia is doing, thank you. I have no problem. They are now above criticism. But based on what I'm saying, I'm like,
St.
okay,
James.
why are
But
you?
we are talk when we talk about Russia,
No,
we
no, no,
talk
I'm not
about
done. Donis, can you allow me to finish? Donna, since 2020, I have been working remotely, going back and forth in my country. The last time I was there, I stayed for 8 months just to understand the crisis in my own country better. You understand? So I speak based on information that I have firsthand. I'm not in the delusions. I'm not here trying to. Traore is not my family members. He's not from my tribe, whatever the situation may be. I saw something and I respected it. I like it. I know this is going to be good for our country. And every single day is showing to us that is about actions. So whether the MOU, whatever that you're presenting, I know when it comes down to implementing whatever that the United States is talking about, Traore is not going to sit on here and agree to anything that state that America is going to have to take something from us and without our knowledge or something that's going to undermine our health system in Burkina. It's not going to do it. So I'm not going to jump the bandwagon and diss my country because you can go on United States website. You can see a lot of bunch of things, but once you actually read it and then you go to those specific country, the situation is different. So I don't take that for. It's not what it is.
St.
People
James.
can. Mhm.
all right, Dennis. I want
And
to say
so
St.
something.
James, a
Yeah, I
question.
think
and
CD after
Yeah.
you. After you.
for last right before I turn the mic,
I wanted to mention
you
something.
travel to Africa a lot. Can you next time when you go to Africa in these various countries, do a pool? Check these very people, right? See they love their own president and compare it to my president and see that you're gonna find out these countries that you visit, they will tell you they love my president. You see what I'm saying?
Nah,
So that
St.
tell
James.
you that this is true. That will tell you something
Ni-
about West Africa.
Nigerians super
All right.
love
That
Tinubu.
so
Super love
Dennis, let
Tinubu.
me let me
Nigerians
Ben,
super
let
love
me give
Tinubu, man.
some
Come on,
Ben,
St. James, man. The most favorite
Ben.
president in the world is Tinubu in West Africa, man.
Yeah,
What are you
but
talking about,
let
St.
me see
James?
this pic because I'm gonna come after him. I haven't
So the
spoken.
thing is,
Thank you, man.
Russia in Europe, Italy has the smallest economy in whole of Europe,
Mm.
right? Italy economy is bigger than Russia economy. So we have seen history. All the African countries that Russia have worked with, they have not succeeded financially or economically. You
Oh
know,
Lord, boy, I'm telling
except
this
if
dude.
because they work with Guinea. You know, we based on history, they work they were there a lot of time. Russia and Fidel Castro worked with Guinea for years. You know, even a common bridge they couldn't even build it in Guinea, right? So that's how Russia is militarily. Where people say they are strong militarily, but they couldn't prove it with Ukraine, right? Everybody thought that they were going to run Ukraine over. This is the only thing that people are
You have
afraid
to
of Russia.
understand what type of
But
war is being
let me
fought.
finish. Let me talk. I'm
Man.
not cutting you off. So basically, economically, if you compare Italy with Russia, they have the bigger economy than Russia. And Italy economy is the smallest in the whole of Europe.
Stop
So
lying. Stop the cap, man. Stop
that's
the
how
cap,
Actually,
Russia
man.
is.
Stop
Darnest,
the
can
And
you
cap,
then
man.
fact check
Stop
besides
the
that?
that,
cap, man.
Actually,
me
Stop
for
it, man.
me,
Darnest, can you
Stop it,
fact
don't
man.
check
cut
that?
me off. Let me finish.
Stop
Let
it,
me
Can you
man.
finish.
fact
Let him
check
Just
that,
talk,
finish.
man.
Darnest?
I
Can
told you
you
Go
he's
fact
ahead.
check
brain
that?
Take
dead.
that.
Anybody
I
Please,
can
told you
please.
he's
check.
brain dead.
I
Can you
don't
fact
talk
check
off
that?
here like that. Check it.
Man, stop that cap, man.
You can
Hey,
check it.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
question.
but I'm not talking to Alex, so man. I
An
beg. Just
economy
come
under
brother.
sanction and an
No,
So
economy
where the
without a
numbers,
basically,
man?
sanction, you cannot.
someone have
An
the
economy
Where the
under
numbers come
resources.
sanction,
from? Just go to the
Someone
an
just
have
go to
the
the
economy
high end
under
of
resources.
come on,
sanction.
man. Let's
Are
do
you
the high end
comparing
of
an economy
you
under
know what it is.
sanction and an
So
Come
economy
on,
who
man.
is
Talk
not
to him,
under
man.
sanction? Are you
Let me
serious?
Yeah, come
even
on,
let me
man.
ask.
Russia is being sanctioned heavily, and you
not
try to
not
compare
not
the
not on a
economy
Let me
to.
ask.
sanction
Are you
on a
serious?
normal
What the hell Italy
circumstances
have,
on a
man?
normal
What's
That's
Italy
circumstances.
our
crazy,
economy
sir.
right now?
Italian
What are you
economy is
talking about?
bigger than the Russian
Let me
No,
ask a
economy.
it's
question.
not.
Yes,
That's a
yes,
damn
he's right.
lie.
Really?
He's right. He's right. He's right. He's right.
Que-
He's
Listen,
right.
man,
No, it's
He's right.
not.
I want to school.
He's
I'm
No,
right.
it's
That
educated.
not.
man.
I don't talk off my
No,
head. Let me tell
GDP,
you,
it's
But let
not.
I'm not here
but
to
Gross
let,
impress
domestic
let
product,
anybody.
he's not.
but
So check,
for
fact
follow
check
culture,
it,
for
He's
respect the
not.
man, man.
fact check it
Germany
Oh
economy
man,
was
since
number one
This dude
by
is
for
so
the
far.
past
wrong.
15 years. So let me tell you, Russia militarily, we say, yeah, they are good. This is what everybody was afraid of there, but Ukraine proved them wrong, right? So
How did
I'm not,
Ukraine prove them
for
wrong
me,
when
I don't
Ukraine is
identify
losing
myself with any
territories?
African country. When I'm in Sierra Leone, you know what Sierra Leone cost me? It's a city boy, you that Madingo, you know to Labraman, you know to Labra, you that Madingo bo. So I can go any part of
Yeah,
West Africa and survive. Right? You know
yeah,
that
What
what
the
that
that's
hell?
means
true.
to you, right? So
That's
I don't
true. That's true.
identify myself with one, but whatever I see in any
Yeah,
country, I see the
yeah.
fact. When I talk
No,
about
no, no. You don't say the
Nigeria,
facts.
then come
No, no,
after
no,
me
no, no,
here. They
no,
say,
no,
oh,
no, my
this guy
brother.
is a Nigerian hater.
You don't
When
say
I
the
talk
facts.
about
Yeah.
Ghana,
You don't say the
Ghanaian come
facts.
after me, so the guy is a
Where,
Ghanaian hater.
where
I
you
don't
where
hate
you
any
to that?
country, but I look at the
Where you
fact.
to that today?
Right.
Yeah,
I
where you to that?
always talk about the fact. I don't talk about anything that off my head. Right. Russia is no value to any African country. They never brought value to any African country.
Well, they're bringing
You
value
will
to my
see
country
you will see
based
Russian
on our.
oligarch,
Wait, let the man
Stop
finish.
you will
I
it.
see
need to come
Russian
Stop
after him.
it.
oligarch that
I
have
Stop it.
been
Stop
Not,
it.
given
You
money by
nobody.
Putin.
it's
Sit,
not.
Putin
sit.
gave
I need to
You
come
gave
in
after him.
Africa,
Russian.
man. Sit.
But
You
the
are
the
I let me,
fact
somebody in
is
Africa.
They're
the fact
they're
is in
bringing
Russia,
value.
they are setting
They're bringing
the
value to
fact is they
Mali,
are
Niger,
certain
and
part
Burkina
of Russia.
Faso,
Let me talk you
and
finish.
we
You
are
just finish.
satisfied with it. If you don't have
yeah,
if
Saint
you don't
James,
see
Saint James,
value in
you
your
just
interaction with
Saint James, just
with Russia, that's fine. But my
Uh,
question to you is: you
yeah,
dealt with the West. What has the West built for you that is better?
no,
Tell
I'm
me,
not making
please.
see,
No.
comparison.
Please
I'm not
give me
you
making
three
no
see,
things the West
comparison.
has built for you that is better. Please,
Saint James,
No,
just be quiet. Let the man talk, man.
man, shut
Please.
up,
let
man.
me
Nobody's
talk,
talking to
man.
you.
Come on.
Oh, your mouth, I can smell your breath from here, man. I don't want to hear
Oh
your
yeah, yeah,
annoying
yeah. I
voice.
know, I know, I know, I know, I know,
I
I know,
know, I
Let,
know.
I know.
Leave
Yeah.
it talk.
Can you answer that? Like
we get
you talking Russia? Can you move the conversation? Like you
CD
coming to me
finish?
telling me, no. Our relationship with the Russia hasn't yielded no result. Thank you. That's your observation. Tell me what result you were able to gain through your relationship with the West. Tell me what have you gained?
Listen. There's.
No.
I'm not
I'm not
making no
asking you.
comparison.
It's right
I'm
on.
I'm
It's
I'm
right
just
asking
on.
the
making
guy that's talking.
I'm just saying the
No.
fact. I'm
That's an
not making
honest
any
question.
comparison. But
Militarily,
what I'm
tell me.
saying,
Militarily,
oh
tell
my
me
God.
what sector you have benefited from the West that makes the difference in the entire region. That's what I want to know.
Okay, that's what I'm
Finish,
telling
Maybe
you
finish,
I
right
can
brother.
come
now.
to you. Maybe
Russia,
instead of Burkina Faso, maybe instead of Burkina Faso going to Russia, I can come to you. Talk to me like I'm trying to hear from what you got. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
That can make me come to
okay.
you instead of going to Russia. Thank you.
I want you to listen to me.
No, sure.
Russia, all the countries that Russia have worked with, I have not seen. Look Cuba. Cuba is no. If you go to
You
Cuba,
you keep circling. You keep
it's
circling. Can you answer the question? You keep circling. You talking about
I'm
Russia
not
weak?
making
No, no,
comparison. I
no,
don't have
no,
to
no, no.
compare Russia or any Western country. We
It
already
doesn't.
know
That's
that.
not
You
the
don't
point.
no need of
That's
me
not
going
the
you
point.
back in front.
That's not the point. I'm asking you,
The thing
what
is,
have you benefited? What have you
thing
benefited?
is,
I
the
wanna
thing
know.
is, that's the wrong question. That's the wrong question being asked.
Exactly.
Because
Thank you very much for saying
the
that.
brother,
Thank you.
he brought up a point, and he said, and it was looked up and proven that he was correct, right?
And they're still
He
trying.
said
This is what they do.
he
They're
said
I
not.
will
They're
not
not
say
right in
anything
the
here
head,
that is
bro.
a lie.
brother, 1 second, brother.
Exactly.
Fact check it. Before you rush into
This is
Russia,
why I
look,
say, right?
Russia, there are certain part of Russia that people stay in line to beg for food. Do you know that?
This is
People
what
stay in
In
line for
City,
America, it
bread.
city,
exists. It
I
exists
will
here in
tell you
America.
that.
this is
city,
what I'm saying.
city,
It
Are
exists here in
city,
America.
city.
we
Right.
having?
You know where,
Are,
but
That
we're way
that
above
was
this.
in the
Stupidity.
1990s.
That's
this is what I'm
Man, you
saying.
guys are
ridiculous.
something else.
This is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Sorry, brother.
Are we having these conversations to learn, to vent,
It's
or
exactly.
Exactly.
Brother, I
you
wanna
know,
I
Some of
wanna
them are.
make the
but you
point,
gotta
but
ask
my
yourself that
point
question
is gonna be long. That's why.
because
My question is very
if
relevant.
the brother
No,
Unfortunately, it's a
I
people are
can answer
relevant
very.
that
question.
question,
if the
bro. I can
brother
answer
It's
that
a
Some people
very
are
question.
very low
relevant question.
IQ.
if the
Some people
brother
are very
brings
low
up a
IQ.
point, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
brother brings up a point. He says something that's proven to be a fact, right?
Yeah.
Now, how is it that the question is not, has Russia helped another country? The question is, can Russia even help themselves?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because the reality of their
Help
economic
themselves do
system,
what? Help themselves do
hold on,
what?
brother, hold on, brother.
That's
You
a
mentioned,
lame
hold
ass
on, brother,
excuse, man.
you
That's
mentioned,
very
Let
lame
him
what you are
finish.
This
bringing
is
here.
what they do. This is
Here's
what
the
they do.
It's
They
very
come.
reason.
lame. That's
They cannot
very
argue with
lame.
statistics,
hold on, brother,
and they throw
hold on,
insult
Did
at
you
you.
see? Did you
Let him
see
make the
Tucker
point
Carlson
first.
interview? Did you see Tucker
hold
Carlson
on,
Let
interview
him
with
make the
Putin?
point first, so he can.
hold on. I watched the interview with Tucker, right? Someone
What did he
mentioned,
say?
someone
What did he
mentioned
say? What did
Just
he
let him
say?
finish.
he
He's
was
not gonna finish
hyping
the
up
point.
Russia for all kinds of stuff.
No, no, no.
But
Nobody's happy. Nobody. If you want to talk about weakness, talk about the strength,
Hey,
right?
guys,
Anyway,
So
to your
guys,
point. Can I
let me
be
speak
pass
now?
the
able to
mic to
do
Anton.
both.
Guys,
It
let me
can't
pass the
only
mic
be
to
the
Anton.
weakness.
Hold
All
on. Let
right,
me pass
just be
the mic to
quiet.
Anton Morales. Go to Anton
hold
Morales.
on. The thing is, right?
No, no, Jay, I gotta pass the mic to Anton Morales. Go ahead, Anton Morales.
Okay, so first of all, okay, thank you. This conversation, what I've noticed is that we're talking about Russia as if it's the only strategic partner in all of Africa. Like that's the first problem. So why do we immediately look at only Russia as the external partner? That framing already limits the conversation. There was a person who made here. What are the solutions? And I like that. I'm trying to go there, right? So first is diversifying partners across multiple sectors. One thing I want to mention is that working with Russia doesn't mean you're going to fail. You just have to know what you're working with them against. One, they are suffering through like economic sanctions. That's true. But it doesn't mean they're failing in every aspect. For example, when I look at the relationship they have with African countries, Ethiopia, Algeria, and Egypt are the three countries that I can think of right now that have a strong cooperation. For example, with specifically, if I remember correctly, Ethiopia, is that they had historically with the Soviet Union during the Soviet era, and their cooperation expanded to nuclear energy. They are right now, Ethiopia built a dam, for example. They are thinking of building a nuclear energy, for example, with Gazprom, which is I think the Russian company. So, and it's not to say that that doesn't work with other countries like Algeria, for example, with Egypt as well. They're doing a similar thing, so they can work. But when you're talking about military, for example, in Russia, you can't. Okay, mute yourself. Russia is one country, okay, versus America with its NATO partners. That's what one of the things about militarily why Russia will always be a struggle to work with. But industrial wise, when it comes to nuclear energy and industrial cooperation, I can look at their when it comes to those kind of corporations, I can look at them and then I can say, yeah, they have been very successful. But another thing that I want to make an argument is that instead of focusing, like, the problem when we're having this conversation, we're looking at Africa as a whole, 55 nations, then we're assuming they are going to always agree. That's the first problem. The thing is, I think what Africa should really be doing is focusing on their regional blocks. West Africa is its own thing. I'm not going to act like I understand that.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I would say let's look at Eastern Africa. Let's look at Southern Africa. The EAC is in East Africa. It's an East African community. They have been moving more towards economic coordination, customs integration, and infrastructure connectivity. That has improved so much when it comes to trade, and their GDPs have grown. South Africa has the SADC movement, which already coordinates trade for development, especially with like West Africa as well. They're trying to do that, but again, as you know, I'm not gonna act like I'm an expert on that. Now, the reason I say that when you strengthen regional blocks, they matter because the scale will create bargaining power more. 55 individual states separating, like they negotiate separately. That's gonna be limited leverage. Like right now, Zambia, when they export their minerals, they're gonna have to go through Tanzania because they're a landlocked nation. Through the Tazara Railway, which was a railway that was built with the help of China, for example. Now, China dedicated 1.5 billion to revitalize that railway. Why do you think they did that? Because they need the copper from Zimbabwe, okay? So from Zambia, my bad, from Zambia. They need that, okay? But of course, they need it far more. So they notice the leverage that has. So that's why they're willing to spend so much money in East African trade. When you look at, for example, they helped Kenya with their. And also, this is another important factor. These nations are not they're not to blame necessarily. Kenya, they did a deal with China when they building their railway, for example. Tanzania did the same thing, but they went with Turkey, for example. But Tanzania's railway is electrified. Kenya's railway is still diesel powered. Now, another thing is that Kenya is borrowing a lot of debt. They're not actually requiring their own workers to be there, like making a quota, for example, which therefore limits the knowledge transfer for these nations. Now, do I blame China for that, or should I blame Kenya for not making a better argument or better deal? This is what I mean, that we need to start looking at our own leaders when they are making these agreements. That's the first thing, okay? And when it comes to like the Tazara Railway, which goes to Zambia, they're building another railway to Angola, from Zambia to Angola, which gets the same copper from Zambia and also through the DRC, which will go to the United States and Europe most likely. And they're trying to fund that. Now, China and both the West and China, they both need Africa. They are realizing that. Now, it's going to be depending on whether Angola, Botswana, Namibia, DRC, Zambia, Tanzania, if they're going to come together and actually as a block, but they're not a block right now, but well, actually they are. Through the SADC movement, they are a block. But how much can they actually come together and negotiate? That's the first thing I'm trying to say. So, and also another thing is specifically when we're focusing on these big powers, United States, China, and historically European powers, when you talk to them, when you make deals with them, they come with geopolitical gravity. Meaning, when you're a smaller country and you're too closely aligned, you're not going to make policies that are flexible, and you're probably not going to have a lot of power. But middle powers operate very differently. They have to pursue their own interests. I mentioned Turkey. Turkey is a middle power, for example. When they were building that railway in Tanzania, they had to transfer skills. They didn't have much negotiating to say they can't transfer that skills, and they were looking for contracts. If you know how to build rail and you're able to maintain it, for example, that in itself, just transferring that knowledge alone can help a lot. Turkey is also another nation that.
Hey, 30 seconds, then we got to close out.
I'll make it quick. My point is that in Turkey is just one nation. There's also nations like South Korea, Vietnam, Indonesia.
Okay, yeah. You just mentioned about South Korea, right? So South Korea.
I got to close out. We got 10 seconds.
I'll make it quickly. So point is that these middle powers are also important, man. And the thing is, we're focusing so much on these big powers like Russia, China, and America. And we're not looking about these middle powers like Brazil, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam. And if we start focusing on moving as a block,
okay, guys, we got to close out. Everyone, thank you for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror, search for Haru. Peace.